So I also want to say a few that lady who I met in the sauna who was talking about how works in the security camera. She said that there's a lot of problems. I think she said Bristol Zoo had a robbery, and there was just a bunch of guys just taking a huge amount of stuff. And she also says that there's a lot of people that are just stealing like anything they can and taking it abroad. I think parking meters was actually quite a common one, and but yeah, she said petrol. A lot of people are just going into petrol stations and stealing oil. I think oil is probably one of the most common ones because people are loading up their car and then driving off. And if they've just changed their number print, my dad accidentally did that when he was in Birmingham last time he came up. He went into the shop to pay for things, but he bought a couple of stuff, and when there, I remember actually being there, I found some donuts to buy, and so I guess when he was paying for it, he got distracted by the stuff we were buying, and he forgot he forgot to tell which number his car was, so he didn't pay for it, but he kind of, I don't know, maybe got distracted. But yeah, I can imagine there being a lot of people that do that without realizing that, without it being an accident, yeah, that's, I don't know. I mean, if you, I feel like there's actually a growing number of people that are severely mentally ill, and when I was cycling back today, actually, I was just cycling, but some sort of mad drunk person looked like he we were just having a basic chit chat, but I really was like, right, I'm going to kind of avoid him as much as possible because he looks like someone that might just randomly attack me for no reason. Like, I think because yesterday I was looking online and I was just seeing so many terrible things, just lots and lots of attacks and stabbings and basic things of having your bag stolen. The number of times that I've parked my bike and have to get the lock off the back and then attach it to the wheel. But sometimes I leave my bag to the side when I there's a lock at my gym and it's at the front of the property. It's at the front wheel, front of the property. I'm getting my words very wrong. It's very annoying. But yeah, I lock my bike front wheel when I go into the gym, but often I end up leaving the bag at the back of the back of the car. I can't talk. The back of the bike, and I kind of worry that people are just gonna grab the bags and run off. And if I'm shopping in town and I have to park, it's parking. You park a bike, right? Do you park the bike? That's the correct word. I don't know what else. You park the bike and you attach it to the thing, but attach it to the pole, the bike pole. But if there's a bag that's next to me, I am worried that people are just going to grab the bag and run off. It feels like there's a lot of criminality around. You could take pictures of people and it will be fine. You can't really see them, but I think when you're walking down, for some reason the bad ones seem to stand out more than the good ones. So if you're walking down if you cycle down the high street and you see about 150 people, although 90% of them might be okay, 10% of them look really dangerous or look really drunk or look really mad, and you don't want to be taking those pictures of those people because you are worried that they're going to be confrontational with you about it. And some of these gangs, though, they hide themselves, they hide their sort of face, and they look like someone that might have a weapon on them. And security guards, they're not going to want to do their work if they think they're going to be stabbed by someone. And I think knife crime is getting worse and worse. And they had a big statue, remember, 2 years ago or 3 years ago, they had a big giant statue of all the knives that people were carrying. And when they did that, I kind of was aware that, okay, maybe knife crime is a much bigger thing than I realized. But it wasn't such a big problem in Birmingham. Right now, I don't think you'd be able to have... It was a big statue, a gigantic statue made out of all the knives that they'd taken off people. But I feel like it's so dangerous now that you wouldn't be able to have a statue of that like that in Birmingham, because the gangs would literally just think, yay, free knives, and then they'll just take them and run off. if 3 years ago that would have been fine, you could have had a giant statue of knives and people would have just been like, oh wow, this is, knife crime is serious. Whereas now I feel like it's so bad that you couldn't even have a statue like that in Birmingham, because the gangs would just think like they'll just start acting like it's free candy or something. And yeah, it's just in the last year that I've started noticing it, and I think it's making it worse because of all the stuff that I saw yesterday. I am even more concerned about doing anything actually. I don't know I don't know why it's getting this bad. But yeah, I investing in my house, because I was going to buy another 10% of my sister's house, and I'm just thinking how it is now. I really don't think the house is worth more than 160 right now, but I think people are being deceived because they're thinking that, oh, shops closing down, the high streets are closing down, this is just normal. Everyone gets shops online right now, it doesn't matter. But I think it does. People like to have shops that you can go to, and if you can't even go to a food shop to get food because they're all closing down because the gangs are getting more and more bold with their stealing. The country is falling. The city is definitely falling apart. And I don't support communism, but if communism, it can give the government a huge amount of power, which will help them get rid of these gangs, then great. But I'm wondering how can you get rid of them? Are they going to be? Are they realizing that these gangs are as bad as they actually are? I don't know. I understand that there were some areas that are bad, and that has been for a long time. These areas are growing, and these people are having more and more kids, and you can't just deport them because they might actually be people who are born here, and I think that's actually becoming a bigger problem. And this lady that I was talking to said that all the rich people are leaving England. They've all left basically, and that this is why the decline has been so rapid in the last year. And I guess because I was just hoping that I was going to leave soon, I was hoping that I didn't have to worry about it. But I'm worrying about it. Why? Because I'm still here. I haven't left yet, and I have no intention of moving elsewhere. I mean, I guess I could. I could just move out of Birmingham, but I still believe that that the time when people are going to start talking to me and stop ignoring me, I do believe that it's around the corner. Do I have another year to wait? Maybe. And that's very depressing.